It's 7-barrel Gatling gun. 20th century weapon is what it feels like. It's freaking awesome.
How many comes out in a combat burst?
Die, call me, die. Release the trigger. See impacts. Pull off target. Look over your shoulder. Assess BDA. It's just awesome.
Can you go through some of the weapons that are attached to the A-10?
Yeah, so the most popular and the most fun to employ is the 30 millimeter. So it's 7-barrel Gatling gun. It's powered by electrical and hydraulics. So it's kind of like a throwback to some, 20th century weapon is what it feels like. It's freaking awesome. Carries 1,174 rounds and it shoots 70 rounds a second.
70 rounds a second?
Yes.
Holy shit.
There's, you can carry...
What's the math on that? How many rounds?
1174.
1174?
The way I think about it...
70 rounds a second? So what's that, like maybe 10 seconds?
Yeah, you don't necessarily employ it like that. You don't just empty the gun.
Mm-hmm.
You get it, they call it like a combat burst. So a couple...
How many comes out in a combat burst?
As long as it takes you to say, die, call me, die. And that's how we trained our students. Like you set engage the. There's more that goes into it, but you roll in, acquire the target, line up your symbology. So you have a continuously computed aim point. So it's the computer's looking at the winds, your airspeed, your attitude, your altitude, the ground, and it's giving you a computerized sight that's going to tell you where those bullets impact. And then you have something called precision attitude control. So you squeeze the trigger halfway and the jet will lock in place to just drive a nail through that point on the ground.
Shit.
So it's for like killing tanks or armor, anything like that. You need to increase bullet density, reduce that dispersion. That allows you to do that. So yeah, you roll in, acquire the target, check your parameters, your dive angle, your airspeed, your altitude, things like that. Engage pack one, make any minor adjustments. Die, call me, die. Release the trigger, see impacts, pull off target, look over your shoulder, assess BDA. It's just awesome.
Die, call me, die. That's got to be a second, right?
No, I think it's more like 3 seconds.
Oh, you say it's slow.
Yeah.
So that's like 210 rounds.
Yeah, there'd be a good burst, depending on the target,
Holy shit. What else?
Last thing on the bullets is you have high explosive incendiary rounds, which basically like little hand grenades that explode on impact. So anti-personnel, things like that. And then we also can carry the armor-piercing incendiary, which are the depleted uranium rounds, which can punch holes in armor. So loadout just depending on the potential targets. So it's pretty badass weapon.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, everyone loves the gun. So the first day you shoot the gun, it's like...
I love the sound of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then the smell is probably terrible for you, but the cordite kind of fills the cockpit, and you're just like, yeah.
I'll bet, man.
Yeah.
That brings some memories back.
Definitely. And then what makes the A-10 or has made it so awesome at what it's done is its versatility. So, it's maneuverable, survivable in these types of cast fights. Like, I believe wherever the Army can operate, wherever Apaches can operate, the A-10 can operate. Just like the AC-130. Yeah, we're not going to go in against like triple-digit SAMs, but if the infantry is moving, we can be there. So you have an assortment of weapons to help meet the ground commander's intent. So I talked about the 11 hard points. You can pretty much carry any conventional weapon that's in the inventory. So we carry AIM-9s for defensive purposes, so air-to-air missiles. Typically depends on where again, but you have some sort of ECM, so like an electronic jamming pod, so you can help try to jam radars. And then you just have an assortment of like 500-pound class bombs. So like early in the GWAT, we dropped a lot of GBU-12s, laser-guided bombs. Then GBU-38s came online, so GPS-guided bombs, 500-pound class again. And then on my last deployment, we had GBU-54s, which are laser and GPS guided, so they continuously update with what you're lasing. So they just react faster. As far as like the GBU-38s, you like program the bomb, release it, and then it'll hit that target. Is where GBU-54, you're continuously sending it updates even when the bomb is in flight. And then rockets, Willie Pete's, they call them, white phosphorus for marking targets. Just get a big white plume, because as a A-10 pilot, you might need to do the forward air controller mission. So you need to get everyone else's eyes on the target area. So you might put down a couple Willie Pete's, and everyone says, yep, contact your smoke. Then you can talk them on from there. And then Maverick missiles are always fun. And now they're carrying small diameter bombs, which have a massive bomb range. And we're basically like just a giant bomb truck for those, can carry a ton of them. So yeah, like pretty much any conventional weapon in the inventory the A-10 can carry.
Damn.
So you think about a 4-ship of that showing up in a gunfight.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a lot of capability.
Yeah. Well, so you go through 6 months of the school, you graduate, and then what? So
now I get assigned to my first fighter squadron. So I go up to Fairbanks, Alaska, and that was my first assignment. Yeah, so load up everything I own in a short cab F-150, which is pretty awesome to think about. Like I could, like just like some clothing, and that's about it. Put it in the back of my truck, and off I go. And I arrive there, and it's like a ghost town because everybody is in Afghanistan. And there's one guy left, and he had just gotten back from a deployment. His wife was 8 months pregnant or whatever it was. His name's Gecko, great guy. And he's the only one there. So he's just kind of keeping the lights on in the squadron, and there to welcome me. So, and he's also an instructor. And when you arrive at your first squadron, you're not fully qualified yet. You have to do a local mission checkout before they finally sign you off and say you're good to go to fly in combat. So they're already downrange, and I'm just dying to get down there and join them. And I talked to the commander, and he's like, no, like it's too late. Like just get settled in, and you'll get in on the next rotation. And at that time, I'm thinking this thing's going to be over, and I'm going to miss out. I'm going to be the like one A-10 guy from this era that has zero combat experience. And so I'm pretty bummed about that, and I'm thinking about what I can do.
What year is this?
This is early 2000. So early 2006.
Okay.
So I graduated in 2005, get there in 2006. So I go through my local checkout with Gecko, and everything goes fine. And something happened downrange that I still am not completely privy to, but there was, I don't know exactly what happened, but I think somebody screwed something up and got sent home, and morale was low. They had been there a while, and it was just kind of a lull in the deployment. Mm. And I talked to my commander, and I had a proposal, and I was like, hey, if you let me come out, I will bring a giant cooler full of like frozen halibut, salmon, whatever I can do to kind of bring some fresh energy to the squadron. We can have a big barbecue, and it'll be awesome. And he thinks about it, and he gets back to me. He's like, okay, let's do it. Like, get your butt out here. So I get this giant cooler and I fill it up with like all the halibut and salmon I could find. Pack it with dry ice, and off I go to Afghanistan.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.